Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we'll check in with the Ames Public Library. My guest today is Lynn Carey, Executive Director of the Ames Public Library. Lynn, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it is fabulous to be here in the library. We celebrated a huge milestone recently. We are one.
We are one as of yesterday, and we are so excited about that.
Hard to believe it was just a year ago. We were out front of 515 Douglas cutting that ribbon, and smiles led the way into the beautiful building.
Yes, it really is hard to believe. Sometimes it feels like we've been here for a long, long time because it feels so much like home. Other times we're still working through little bugs and getting used to new spaces and new equipment, and it feels like, oh my gosh, we just got here.
Well, it's funny because you are somewhat home. We are in the older part of the building, and the 1914 building's still here, the 1940s building's still here, and we just added on a lot of new space.
We did. We added a little over 60% more space to the existing 3 buildings. It was actually 1904 is the building we're standing in right now. I don't want anybody from the Historic Preservation Commission to call us on that.
Okay, 1904 was the original library.
Right, and so we did add a lot more space. Not only did we add more space, we added a lot more light and a lot more public space, public usable space.
So another thing which is great, when you walk in to the handicapped accessible library, you are met immediately with a lot of light and a lot of color. Talk a little bit about sort of the process that went into what the library looks like.
Well, of course, we planned every inch of this building, and we worked with the architects, designers to pick out paint colors, furniture, all of that. And our goal was to have it be distinctive yet cohesive, and to tie in the old with the new.
Which you do right when you walk in, yes. And you see the exposed exterior of would be the 1940s.
You see both the 1904 and the 1940, and they're separated by a white sheetrocked wall. So when you first walk in, what you see is 1904 exterior building, and then if you look a little farther to the west, you see the 1940 exposure. And we really wanted to celebrate those buildings. It also tells a story of what a building looks like over the years. So some people have questioned, why didn't we clean them up a little bit more? Why didn't we make them back to the way they were originally? But we like the story that they tell. A building that's been on this corner since 1904 has a history, and it shows, I think, when you walk in, and it's a delightful story.
Well, absolutely. What I think is so striking about the look of the new library is that you have a very modern addition juxtaposed to the historical library that goes back to 1904, and you see that difference in style and function. It really makes an impression when somebody walks in, and I bet people have commented on that.
They certainly have. We have a few people who kind of miss the old library feel, but most people just love the light and the color and the modernity of it. And then we still have, we've honored the old parts of the building too. So I think the architects paid particular attention to that melding of the old and the new. And they've carried some of the themes throughout. So you'll see some of the same light fixtures, like in the room that we're in right now. It has light fixtures that you'll see repeated in the new modern part of the building. You also see light fixtures in this part of the building that are almost identical to the original ones from the 1940 edition. So lots of little touches like that have been carried through the building. One thing that people may not see, but the architect designer absolutely assures us people feel psychologically, is in the upstairs of the new building, one of the little touches is that the floor tiles are arranged in a herringbone pattern. That herringbone pattern is then repeated on some of the end caps, and that is, of course, an old pattern that harkens back to the days of the 1904-1940 building. Just those little kinds of touches, I think, really do impact how you feel when you're in a building, and people report that they feel very good in here.
Yeah, not only is there so much light and space and color, when you look at targeted areas like the children's section or the teen space, there's just more space.
Oh, there's a lot more space. There's a lot more space for the public, and it's more thoughtfully presented. We had several goals. We were able to meet all of those. I'll just start on the main floor. We wanted an area that was really welcoming and had a bit of a wow factor, and I think you see that in the exposed older buildings and then the grand staircase, which many people don't see as anything other than a staircase, but builders, architects, and designers, engineers look at it and say, wow. Then you go into the children's area. One of the things that we really wanted to achieve there was a single entrance in. So it narrows as you go in. The staff is right there. We're much more able to keep track of who's in the area, and we've had very few issues with kids getting lost from their parents. We used to have that frequently. We've really cut down on that just through the design of the space. And then it opens up into this beautiful play area, and the kids can be as noisy as they need to be and not affect anyone else's enjoyment of the building.
And the play areas where I was heading with that is that great corner view of 5th and Douglas, where you can see street level, you can watch what's going on outside. Mm-hmm. It's really a great panoramic look into the downtown, into the other historic buildings that are so nearby, and then that great children's auditorium space or activity area.
The story time room, yes, it is wonderful. And our auditorium too, the Farwell T. Brown Auditorium. Over the weekend we had concerts in there, and we have frequent programs there. And it's just so fun you're sort of almost outside while you're in there, and people walking by see that something's happening, and many of them came in and then were able to participate in the program. All of that is really, it's just joyful.
Well, actually, let's talk a little bit about the exterior. The emphasis on all sorts of transportation, and the bike-friendly transportation. The bike racks are out there. There's a little plaza area, some seating. Obviously, thought given to all aspects, not just the interior, but the exterior of the space as well.
Right, and one thing, if you were to ask me, has anything gone wrong in the last year? I think one thing that's most noticeable to members of the public is that we had trees planted in the plaza, and we lost the trees. They did not thrive. There are specific reasons for that, so we know that we can plant trees and they will be okay. We're waiting right now to find out if the trees that we have selected are spring plant or fall plant. And so they may be going in the next few weeks, or it may be next spring. When they're in, then there will be a canopy there too. You'll still be able to see the building clearly, but there will be a more enticing area to sit in the shade. But the plaza's been wonderful. A few weeks ago we had a group that co-sponsored a program with us, and they offered an ice cream social in the plaza before the program. It was just really fun. We've had a bike program out on the plaza too. So we're looking forward to more activities out there, but a lot of people use that area throughout the day. They'll have lunch or a snack or meet their friends there, and it's really a nice addition to downtown.
So one last question before we go. I just want to know from your perspective, from the library director's perspective, what's your favorite part of the building?
Oh, that's too hard. That's a really hard question. I don't think I am the least bit objective, and I can't answer it. I love it all.
Well, all right, I'll add my 2 cents.
Okay.
I love that little theater is still here.
Oh, it is wonderful.
A remnant from my childhood, and right now it has the Lego story in it. It's awesome. The little theater, if anybody remembers seeing that as a kid, it recreates a storybook imagery through some like a diorama, and it's just so much fun. It was great that you continued that and kept that and found a place for it.
Yes, we're very happy with it.
Well, Lynn, we know you're busy. It's congratulations on your 1-year anniversary.
Thank you so much.
If you want more information about the Ames Public Library, you can find out events and calendar of activities at amespubliclibrary.org. Also remember, you can always learn what's going on at the City of Ames at our website at cityofames.org. Some things for your calendar. Remember, Yard Waste Free Days are coming up. Those will be held in October, November, and December. And also remember, if you're planning to trick or treat this year, that event will be held on Friday, October 30th with recommended hours from 5:30 to 7:30. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.